Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. See, I'm on my way out here to where this Herrock invasion is, and I think I timed it just right to show you why I really hate this. Maybe several reasons why I really hate this, and several reasons why I'm giving 2 thumbs down and 2 middle fingers up. Yep, that's right. Another video of what was you thinking. Really, this entire, I don't even necessarily want to say arc, but feature, event, this whole Herrock invasion shit, it's terrible. What were you thinking? Part of it is how much has actually come in here. It may have gone a little bit better if there was less, but there's kind of a lot. And as the chaser comes around, let me stop him, or at least make it so he's not going to kill me. There we go. Picard maneuver. I think I wanted to do that in my last video, and I kind of messed that up. Oh, that's right. Somebody was killing me. Oh, well. Got it now. There you go. One of my main reasons why I hate this, and I ask, what the hell were you thinking, was the change in G6. A real effort to reduce the quantity of resources or materials or currencies, what have you, that was necessary. Not, let's say, the amount, the different types. That number wasn't reduced, but the quantity overall. You don't need 1 billion to do a refine. You need like 100 million. Again, that is a reduction in the quantity. And it's really evident in the ships. Not necessarily just the warships, but the survey ships as well. Take a look here. This is a Velox. Tier 9. Not that big, but compare it to a G5 Epic. A max G5 Epic. What would you expect is bigger? A Tier 9 G6 Rare or a G5 Epic? I would have to believe that the G6 warships should be bigger in just about everything. You can see the power number. Yeah, it's only 10 billion, so it's kind of... Is that low? Sure, it's low. I don't really care. But look at the cargo size. 576,000. That's it. Take a look at the G5 Epic. 3.6 million. That's a big jump. That is 7 times bigger. The G5 Epic is 7 times bigger. I'm not going to give that a what was you thinking, because I think that's a good thing. I do believe that that is a good thing. But, you know, when you start making events and features like this, then maybe it's not that good of a thing. Taking a look at some of the survey ships. This, yes, it's a Nova. It's a Tier 1 Nova. Yes, I have a Tier 1 Nova. I have a Tier 1 Level 1 Nova. Well, I got it for free. You know, you killing a bunch of ships out there, you get the blueprints for free. I figure, I might as well build another one. Material dump. Maybe I'll need it for something. It's possible. I have used the Nova. I think I've actually used the Nova more for this event than any other time, because I hate the Nova. Ugh. Begin. Look at the cargo. Tier 1, Level 1 Nova. 41 million. Now, what would you think a Selkie would be? Would it be bigger or smaller? Well, if they're reducing the quantity, yeah, maybe it'd be smaller, right? If they didn't reduce the quantity, then it would be bigger. Here's my Selkie. Tier 7. Tier 7 Selkie. Only has 2 million in the cargo. Yeah, I think that is an effort to reduce the quantity necessary. Not necessarily reduce, again, how many different currencies or materials you need to go after, but the total in quantity that you needed to acquire of each. And yes, I do think it's a good thing. I do think it's something that they needed to do. They did it with the speed of the buildings and the researches. Those quantities were reduced. Again, they didn't necessarily reduce the amount of buildings you needed to level up or researches that you need to level up. Just their times. Because why? Why did it need to be so big? But then you look at this Herrick invasion event. Let's go to the refinery here. Transigen. Oh. Well, shit. I haven't done it. Whatever. I needed to do this. One chest pull. 900,000. That's kind of a lot. Oh, look. Destroyed by hazard. I'll get to that later. I actually kind of meant to do this shit, but on camera and show you. I've been getting a lot of this pirated. I don't really hate the transigen mining loop part of this because it is a lot like Isogen. You can get a lot of this OPC. So it's not terrible. But again, when you factor this in with the hostiles and with the invading entities and with all the other bullshit, then it kind of becomes shit. But you need millions for, what is it, like 1.5 million for the uncommon, 2 million for the rare. I can barely fit my 1 day pull in my Selkie. What were you thinking there? You reduced the numbers of G6, but when you made these new events, you didn't follow the same principle. Why? What were you thinking? All you had to do was divide everything by 0. Node sizes, mining speeds, refinery necessity. Divide everything. I'm sorry, what did I say before? Divide it by 10. Divide all of that by 10. How much you get from the hostiles. Again, node size, node speed, the refineries. Divide everything by 10. Oh, why do I mention that? Oh, because maybe they did that already? They've actually done that already. When we complained that things were, again, the quantity was just too much. Anybody remember where they did that? Bonus points if you remember where they did that. It's alright, I'll tell you. The antimatter units, when the Bajoran loop came out, and it was G5 players that were complaining a lot because it was kind of a long trip to get out there to that Bajoran space. At least it was around that time when it first came out. And again, the total numbers you needed versus what you could hold in your cargo bay, they didn't line up. You had to do 5-6 runs just for 1 day of pull. So what they do? Divided everything by 10. And it worked out fine. I think it was a fine loop. But again, after they made the adjustment. Why are they not doing that here? Again, I think there are a few loops where they should be doing that. Just because, what's the point in these high quantities? Especially when there's evidence that you have, let's say, made an effort to reduce the quantities in some pretty significant areas, but yet in other areas you don't. Why? What were you thinking there? Again, why? You reduce the quantities necessary for G6, but again, you make some of these new loops. You don't factor that in. Because? Why? Okay. Now let's take a look at the hostile grind for this shit. I don't even know where the hell it is. Where's the claim for that? It's Flashpoint Exchange. Oh. You dirty, rotten bastard. Whatever. It's 24 million. Or is it 26 million? It's one of those. That's a lot. Here is where there's another problem that I have. And it's really about these hostiles. And again, some of this is because I became a G6 player. Which sure is my fault, though at the same time, part of the name of this game is upgrading. Progressing your account. So, are you not kind of supposed to upgrade your account? You're supposed to level up in ops. I mean, that's kind of a base of this thing. I don't know what they were thinking there. But again, the Velox, you see, I don't even have 1 million in the cargo bay. And I know I've gone round and round and round with this, with at least one person in my alliance already. Quit complaining, Rhino, just go after the loot boxes. Well, Why is that the answer? How much loot am I throwing away because it can't fit in a cargo bay? Again, how much loot are you throwing away using the Velox here? And you see, I don't even use a Velox, I use a board cube because that one's bigger and it's only 2 million. But again, 2 million when I need 26 million to refine. Sure, I guess that makes sense. Whatever. Go after the loot boxes. Okay, I heard you. But again, I'm throwing away loot. What were you thinking where you think that that is okay? You make these hostiles drop and go into your cargo bay. And they do it for some armadas as well. So what were you thinking where you made the numbers so big, but you didn't do anything to the cargo bays? In fact, you reduced them because you wanted to reduce the quantity overall. I guess some people didn't get the memo. Excuse me. Like some of these asshole people is making this damn loop. Alright, so back in here. That's cool. And there's another point to that. Especially when you're, grinding these hostiles. You can see here 82,000. That's per hit. I mean, level 66, this is where I'm supposed to be. Because I'll go to the event in a minute and I'll show you the numbers there. Let's make sure this asshole isn't the one that kills me. Yep, I'm showing you the hazards. I'll get to the hazards later. That's another reason I don't like this. But think about if your cargo bay, if you're just supposed to do these loops and just get the boxes, and your cargo bay is not supposed to factor into it at all. What does that do? There's a reaction to that. Something that happens because of that. Could it be that certain officers or certain abilities, like say fleet commanders or ship abilities, officer abilities, captain abilities, that are obsolete? 511. If this is the new norm, where loops, you're just supposed to get it from the boxes. 511 is obsolete. Okay, fine, she works on armadas. She doesn't work on hostiles anymore. Enterprise Picard, no longer valid against hostiles. He does still work against armadas and invading entities. Okay, cool, fine. Someone that's relatively new this year, Rachel Garrett. No longer useful against hostiles. Well, I guess she's good against armadas. Oh, wait! She's not. Rachel Garrett only works against hostiles. New officer, one of the more recent officers, 10, 15 officers ago? Which isn't that much considering they make what? 20 to 30 a year? Okay. Already obsolete. Because why? Brano, you're not supposed to worry about what's going into your cargo bay. Just get the boxes. Okay. How many officers did I just name that are useless now to people? Cool. Wonderful. How about Andorian Doc Brown? A recent officer. Even newer than Rachel Garrett. Right? Wait, was the Decretum shit come before the wave or after the wave? I don't remember, actually. Andorian Doc Brown. Oh, I guess he works against armadas. No, he doesn't work against armadas. One of the reasons why I didn't like him. Doesn't work against armadas. Only works against hostiles. Yep. That's a good thing. The Jess Torah. Didn't realize that she worked against hostiles, huh? Her ability works against hostiles. But if you're not meant to use loot boosting crews against hostiles anymore, that's kind of pointless, isn't it? I mean, is that... Are we supposed to be okay with that? That all these officers that we liked using, these loot boost officers, they're just supposed to be not useful anymore because we're supposed to only care about the boxes. We're not supposed to care about the loot that goes in our cargo bay. What the hell were any of you thinking when you were okay with that? Anybody. I'm sorry if that offends you as a player. I don't think you should be okay with that. You shouldn't be okay with just them making certain officers obsolete. Okay, maybe you can make the case that a really old officer like a 511, it's fine to make her obsolete. To make somebody newer and better, like a Rachel Garrett and Dorian Doc Brown, Dojash Torah. This year. If they're made this year, the officers shouldn't be useless by now. They shouldn't be. But I guess maybe, oh, well, it's only for loops that are newer. Okay. Fine. And how long until some of the loops older than those officers are in the X-Borg faction store or in the independent archives? Those officers wouldn't be useful against those loops either. And not useful against the new loops. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, why is that supposed to be acceptable? I don't get that. What were people thinking there? No. Because part of it is player choice. There are different ways to go after currency in loops. You load up a high attack crew and go out and kick the shit out of the hostiles. Maybe a high defense crew and outlast the hostile. Or a combination of both. Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. Maybe you punch up or punch down and go with a loot crew, targeting the loot not by itself, but targeting loot specifically. Is that a method that players should be encouraged or allowed or be able to be given a choice to do? Yes. Because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of having fleet commanders with a loot boost ability? And yes, there are fleet commanders that have that. Now apparently useless. And as you can see, killed by the hazard again. Haven't even killed any ships. What have I died? Twice? It's only an 18-minute video. Yeah, kind of long, but whatever. What was I thinking when I'm making this video go on for that long? Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking. There's a whole shit ton of shit that I don't like about this shit. And I haven't even gotten to the real thing that... I don't know if it's the real thing that I hate. I think it's one of the things that pisses me off the most. No, spoiler alert, I don't think this system should kill you. At the very least, it shouldn't be able to give the finishing blow. I mean, you think about some of these cost efficiencies where, yes, they'll increase, but they'll never reach zero. Then why is this okay? Right? Can it do, like, to a certain extent, what Tal does? Okay, he takes 1-2% or whatever it is from the hostile, but technically, he'll never get the finishing blow on his own because he's taking a few percent of the hull away. Well, as the hull gets smaller, it's still taking that percentage away from that hull. So, it'll never actually take it down to zero. You do need to throw a shot or two of your own in there. At least that's the way I understand how it works. Maybe it doesn't. But at the same time, the cost efficiency thing, it should suffice there. Here you go. Here's my pool. 24.5 million. That's a lot. That's a lot when my cargo bay is only 2 million. That's a lot. Okay, back to hazard. So regardless whether you agree that it should be able to do the finishing blow or not, that's only one part of it. I don't think it should be able to do as much damage to you as it does. And part of the reason why it's still doing a lot of damage to me as a mid G6 player is because there's not enough hazard resistance. There's just not. As they put it out there, they did make a few primes for it. They did put a few researches in there. But at the same time, they never added to that. Not like they added to isolytic cascade, isolytic damage, isolytic defense, mitigation, piercing, attack, shields, hull. They'll add to all this other shit. You didn't add to hazard shit? Where's more hazard resistance? And base hazard resistance, because there is some hazard resistance for faction shit, but it's like radiation or ion tornadoes or whatever the other thing is, but they're more faction based. So it's more like faction research. Well, does that apply to the Borg cube? No. Does it even apply to my Velux in here? No, because this is using base hazard resistance, and whatever fancy-ass hazard bullshit there is. Well, I haven't even gone and talked about attacking these damn hostiles. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm going to get to that. But to a certain extent, that's not even really what I might as well, because fuck this shit. I hate this shit. And again, it's like I said a little earlier in the video. It is a combination of all of it. I don't like any of it. Actually, let me go hit a few. I might as well hit a few right now. I mean, it isn't just the hazard system. It isn't just the quantity of currency necessary. And it just isn't just about how difficult the hostiles are. It's a combination of all of it. It is a combination of all. Wow. That took a huge fucking chunk out of me. Yeah, I don't know. Figuring out what crew works best against these assholes. I'm having trouble figuring it out. To a certain extent, I think it is because they're just hard. They're hard for any level. Because maybe you're just not supposed to be attacking hostiles at your level. You're supposed to punch down. Which, I guess, is a fair... That was a little better. I've been taking most of my damage from the system itself. Alright, I'm doing that. I mean, that's not terrible, I guess. Where's the hull at? It's kind of far. It's Again, part of why this loop is so hard for me, coming up into this level 66 system, I lose 1 billion hull every 20 seconds. Just from the system. Well, I only have 15 billion. 5 minutes, I'm dead. Regardless of what I do, which I'll never agree is okay. I'd never. And you can see here, what, 2.23, look at that, 1.26. I lost about 1 billion hull. That was a hazard doing damage to me. What the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? On two folds, when you made this dumb hazard bullshit, and again, it's not even specific just to this stupid ass event, it's hazards in general. What were you thinking when you made hazards? And then two, what were you thinking, assholes, when you didn't come out with any more hazard resistance? None. Oh, I'm sorry, for the, what's that stupid ass armada? Vindicator. The Vindicator has some hazard resistance. Oh, gee, thanks. Dead. How fast is that going? I mean, how many hostiles can you even kill? How many hostiles do I have time to kill? I hate this fucking shit. I really do. And again, it's a combination. Like, I can't even punch down and go after the loot that way, which is an option. I mean, you see here, yeah, 200% hazard damage. Here it's 100%. The hazards do a lot less damage to me. I'm not exactly sure why. You would think, I don't know. Because 40 versus 100, the number is smaller there. When it's 40 versus 200, it's a lot. I feel like I can be in this system for hours. But whatever. But again, then I gotta drop all the way down. What is all this shit that I'm even picking up? I don't even know. I don't even care. Cause what the event? Where the hell is it? What the fuck is it? Not the IMS. The invasion meta here. No, that's not the. There's so much shit up. I don't even know where the hell I'm going here. There we go. Holy shit. I think that's another reason why I don't like this event. There's so much here. Holy shit. Oh, and then there's that Boldly Go bullshit. So you launch this shit and Boldly Go at the same time. You fucking rat bastards. What were you thinking there? Huh? If anything, run this week 1, run Boldly Go week 2, and then run this again week 3. Duh. What the hell else you got planned for the rest of this month? All this shit's going off week 1. What the hell's happening week 2? Look at this. What do I get for the 62s? 1,500. Okay, this is stage 2. That's 200 hostile. 200. I gotta kill 200 of these asshole things. 64, 2,500. Okay, so 100 is 250,000. So I gotta kill what? 150? This is where the points... This is where it lines up for me. 66. Because that's what live ops... I assume that's who's in charge of doing the scoring here. Usually anyway, but this is a longer arc type event, so maybe it is more on the arc runner, I don't know. That's where the point totals are. I mean, 100 and I would have more points. 75 for what? This one-ish. Though there is the stage 1 here. So that was, yeah, so about 100 hostile, which isn't unreasonable. It's kind of a lot, but it isn't unreasonable. And then you got to kill the vanguards there, and then what is? Oh, and then you got to go mine the shit. So I'm not even doing that shit yet. Whatever. All right, in the system already. Yeah, I mean, I do a lot better on the 64s, but again, how many Okay, knew what was you thinking? Why in the fuck is its despawn point right in the middle of the system like that? What the... I don't like that. I feel like ever since... And again, this is something that maybe I guess is supposed to be the norm with this game, but it doesn't mean that I like it. Ever since Kirshar came out, I feel like all the patterns of these hostiles are wonky as fuck. They're wonkier, more unpredictable, or it just feels like they're more unpredictable. And they're faster. Which again, negatively impacts the Kirshar because you end up crisscrossing the system dozens of times because you just loaded up your queue with what? For me, it's 7. I'm sure some people out there who may have invested in a Kirshar, which I still think is a good idea. You got 10 hostiles in a queue, and honestly, it's a good idea if the hostile patterns stayed the same. But you changed them, rendering Kirshar almost pointless. Fuck you too, assholes. What is the thought process there? You bring something out, and then you make a bunch of changes so that that thing you just brought out has less value now. Why is that a thing? I mean, that does seem to be something regularly that happens in this game. Why is that a thing? Talking a lot, getting thirsty. So annoying. And I mean, part of why I don't really like hazards so much is, yes, sometimes I want to make a video and explain this thing or that thing or what have you. Hazards don't really benefit content creators at all. They really don't. Because you'll spend time not worrying about attacking. And why does the Kirshar not? Oh, I have it off on the computer. That's right. That is. I mean, I kind of like it. I like that I can make a setting on the computer. Because it is, where I do this, the content creator part of this. And it doesn't affect my tablet, which is... I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's interesting that is able to happen. But, I mean, computers, and I don't really... I mean, computers don't see eye to eye. Really don't. On a lot of things. But, however... I mean, I'm getting a few kills, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get like 5 or 6 kills, and then I get killed by the hazard system. Oh my god. And another reason why punching down doesn't really work for me, again, the scoring mechanic. I like using an impulse speed officers. I do. And I think it works out pretty well for hazard systems because then you can get 2 more hostiles before the hazards get you. But again, if you're punching down, then you're not exactly killing the right hostile number to get the right score because live ops, or again, whoever is in charge of scoring, decided to jack this shit up. Why? Why do you hate us so much? What were you thinking? Treat us better. Why can't we be treated better? I can't even go down here because it's the same hazard system. Okay, the hostiles are a little easier. I don't know. Whatever. Alright, before I wrap this up and get out of here, I'll just show you excuse me, what I'm rocking here on the ship. Yeah, Metreon Cascade, you know what that is. Critical chance, hull health, which actually does not help at hazard because, again, hazard is percentage, so you could have a bajillion hull and it would still take the same percentage off. Hostile damage, critical hit, critical damage, that's cool. Go to the Chaos Tech. Choosing the Chrono Deflector over the interphasic mirror. I don't have Godsend up, not that I think it's really that good or would really be that. Yeah, I don't think it's really that good here. And I don't care what people say about Apex Shred. 35% Apex Shred isn't going to do you a whole lot. Chrono Deflector here, 2500 Apex Barrier when you're fighting hostile. That's useful, right? Especially hostiles that are doing a lot of damage to you like this. Critical damage doesn't apply because it's armadas and invading entities. Again, why can't all this shit be armadas and hostiles and therefore also work against invading entities? Why can't this work against hostiles? Shield repair, I did notice at one point, especially when I'm hitting the bigger targets and my shields were going down. This has helped that. Interphasic mirror, it does add isolated cascade, but I don't really need more damage. Like, I'm doing enough damage. It's really blocking the enemy's damage is what I'm going here for. It does reduce isolated damage received, though I don't think it's that much. And here I'm going with Naismith because from what I can tell, these hostiles have 3 weapons. So if you're going to use Anorax, on the first hit, Anorak isn't going to have an activation. On the second hit, okay, he'll have 1 activation. On the third hit, okay, he'll have 2 activations. But doesn't that kind of balance out? That's a total of 3 activations and taking 3 shots. It's like the same as Naismith. So what I'm going for is who's higher. And maybe that's my fault because my Anorax is only 2000 Apex Barrier. That's not what I wanted. But I knew that was going to happen. Oh well. And my Naismith is... He's here too, so he's 2500. So I went with Naismith. Again, they're supposed to be having high piercing, so Pike Moreau. It's not high piercing as in, let's say, like freebooters, where there was a ship ability that increased their percentage where that kind of negated Moreau. This is just they have higher piercing, so Moreau should still work for you. Hugh, Torres, Neelix, Kim, yeah, they're all going to do something for you, especially with the Nova Squadron researches. They're going to increase your isolated cascade. I mean, especially for me, you see they're 1,000,000 strength, so yeah, they're all maxed. More isolated cascade, more what kind of beneficials. Actually, yeah, I got shield repair, so why my shields were still going down and I had, wow, so I got like 40% shield repair around. Interesting, okay. You got the shield repair with that. You got the increased damage that comes with the morale and the hull breach. Got my Chapel Max. That's cool. Yeah, more isolated cascade. Again, I don't really need the damage, but I do need some kind of defense. Yeah, Pelly's getting close to max. But you can see, you take on this Rock dropship. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, wow. And it still took down my shields. Well, it's 66s. They always take down my shield? Didn't take down my shields there. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing with these guys. They do high damage. Yeah. Yeah, I mean... Pike Moreau was definitely the way to go there because what's that, 66%? Yeah, should be higher. Okay. However, that's fine. I don't really care. Because I don't think I really give a shit about this. I just don't like it. I don't understand why it has to be so damn difficult. We don't have a special ship for this. Whatever, man. Make it fucking more difficult. I don't know what you were thinking there, but me, I might as well just go do something else. And yeah, okay, I'm complaining about how difficult something is. I understand what some people are going to say to that, but a lot of players are saying that this is really difficult. I mean, between the loot, trying to get enough loot for the refine, trying to kill the right number of hostiles for the event, when you're combining it two like that, yeah, and then you add the hazard systems. That's several challenges, but that's what? 2 or 3 challenges for players to get over with one thing, with one loop. Usually it's one challenge to get over. Now you're adding in multiple challenges. Oh, and not to mention the bounty hunters. Yeah, no, this isn't that fun. I think part of it is, where's the answer? I mean, especially with the last loop, okay, the answer is the ship. That's fine, but again, here we go again, right? Month 1, here's this loop. It sucks ass. Hate it. It's hard. The scoring's hard. I got to deal with this challenge and the hazards. I got to deal with this bounty hunter. Where's the answer? What's the answer going to be again? Another fucking ship that we have to buy or ignore this fucking loop for how many months? What were you thinking? Were you thinking, we don't give a shit, we just want money? Because after some time, this just stops being enjoyable for players. Because it's the same thing. You're doing the same thing all over again. We're going to make it so fucking difficult in month 1. We'll sell them the answer next month. And all is right in the universe. However, alright, this is probably the longest What Was You Thinking video I've ever done. Holy shit. Well, sorry. But kind of a lot of things in here. And again, I understand complaining about the challenge. Yeah. But it's all of them combined, really. It's not necessarily just one thing. I think if it was one thing at each section of the loop or something, I could get over it. But it's all of them on the one loop here. Yeah, no. Not fun for me at all. So comment below. Am I so ridiculous that this is did this deserve a What Was You Thinking? Did I even do a good job at giving this a What Was You Thinking? I feel like I've been noticing some of your comments. Some of y'all have been waiting for some of this shit like this. Hopefully, I want to live up to the hype. Of course, not that I really want some of the hype anyway, because then you have to live up to it, and that's a challenge in and of itself. Ha! More challenges. Maybe some people just don't like challenges and like this because this is supposed to be relaxing. Life is full of challenges. Things that are getaways from life. Or, what's the word? Outlets. How challenging do we really want them to be? I don't really want them to be that challenging. Not this challenging, but maybe that's just an opinion. What's your opinion? Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.